Welcome back to another episode of the McKissick Health Podcast. And today we have two very special guests who are a part of the McKissick Health Podcast Network. We have the Good Luck Chuck hosts. We have Kei and Bree in the house tonight, or in the room, should I say. And
Yeah.
we're really going to dive into their personal journeys and find out what we love to find out from every guest that we have on the show. What's one choice that has really changed your life? I am telling you guys, I'm really excited to have them on the show today. They've been punching out episodes on their podcast show, and it's received great feedback from our listeners. And hopefully, some of you guys who listen to the McKissick Health Podcast have been blessed and encouraged and really motivated to figure out how to get rid of what's not working. They have that as their acronym GROW. And so today we're going to talk a little bit more about getting rid of what's not working and how we can live better and healthier lives. And we're going to find out more about Kei and Bree. So, welcome to the show, Kei and Bree.
Hey,
Hey girl, thank you for
thank
having
you
us.
for having us.
I love it. I feel like I want to be like, hey, girl, hey, throw me in. I'm the third wheel. Today, I am just the third wheel on the bicycle. It's fine. I'm here for it. I'm excited to talk to you guys. I was so excited when Kei finally said she was going to start a podcast. I mean, I was so excited. I have been hounding her for a long time. And when she brought Brie on the scene, I was like, this is the icing on the cake. So I'm so glad.
It was a
I
trap.
haven't been disappointed. You guys have been great. How do you feel? You're 10 episodes in. How does it feel from day one to today?
Keith?
Surreal.
That's
Yeah,
about right.
unbelievable.
It doesn't feel like 10, if that makes sense. It just feels like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we've done 10 because you're
Mhm.
just kind of getting your feet wet, really. And I feel like each episode is it's a new challenge. And so to know that we've done 10 as it's been a rocky start for us individually in this, I think it feels good. It feels good. And it's gone fast to me. It's gone
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say definitely unbelievable because I know when Key mentioned that she was thinking about starting a podcast, I was like, oh my god, I always wanted to do one too, not knowing what I was getting myself into. No idea, but no regrets. No regrets. It's been a very stretching journey for me.
Mm. And you like words, so tell us about stretching.
Oh
What
goodness.
does that mean at this point in life? Man,
Stretching means I've typically operated in this box that I could define what it looked like, what it felt like, the texture, all of that. And to now open this box up and let this new thing in, this podcast where I'm exposing myself to some degree, that is stretching for me. Yeah.
Mm.
listen, Bree has already started because when she said open up this box and let something new in, what what an interesting like metaphor, especially as you also talk about getting rid of what's not working. So
Hmm.
I want you to share with the listeners what is grow? What does it mean to grow and get rid of what's not working? What is that like? What is that process? I know it's so complex to kind of
Yeah.
summarize, but if you could kind of explain if somebody had things that they didn't even realize weren't working for them, like how they could recognize them and potentially get rid of them.
Mhm.
Mm.
And they're
Um,
therapists, guys. So we finna go deep real fast. I'm about to get a free therapy session. I already planned it. I didn't time this for an hour. Y'all get ready. Okay? Free
Absolutely.
of charge. Get your whole life. Here we go.
um, okay, you got me off guard, but that's fine. I would say that if I had to describe recognizing how to grow or what's not working is, I think realizing one thing, life's actually not about suffering. So I think a
Mm.
lot of times people have accepted certain feelings that they think comes with life because that's what we've been taught. So it is hard
Yeah.
to originally recognize it because whether you're just culturally been taught that, whether it's religiously been taught that, like it's always this amount of suffering that comes with life in order to reach a better place afterlife. And so I think when you realize that life is about living and thriving, and so you can say things that don't feel good, you don't have to actually have that in your life. Like, it's okay to feel good. It's okay to be happy. It's okay not to be sad. It's okay not to be heartbroken. You don't have to walk around feeling guilty. And so I think when you start realizing or being able to identify what I don't try to use good and bad, but I try to use like pleasant and unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like good and bad is judgmental. So if you're pleasant and unpleasant feelings, if you can recognize when you feel unpleasant, then you might be able to identify what are the things that are going on when I'm feeling like that. And then that's
Mm-hmm.
like the first step. So I guess recognizing you don't have to feel like that. That's not a part of a daily life. Like, humans choose to suffer sometimes. And so I think once you realize that, that's already a step into realizing what may not be working for you.
Mm, I love it. I'm kind of like, what do I add to that? Like, what do I add? I like that Key highlighted the power of choice, right? Because we talk about that a lot. Um, and for me, it's very feeling based. I typically like to structure my days around what I feel like doing, which isn't always the best. Because I'll quit jobs, I won't call you back. you,
Growing. She's
you
growing,
know,
guys.
right? So for me, when I know it's time for me to get rid of something, it's what is happening in my body because I'm experiencing this thing, right? Am I every time I'm around this certain person, do I feel anxious? When I talk about this certain thing with this person, does it make me feel nauseous? Those type of things. So maybe it's more of like being in tune with your body and the way different things show up for you.
Listen, I love that you talk about good and bad, Key, and then Bree,
Mhm.
you come back and you say, recognize the signs of the physical presentation of like this isn't working for you. And
Mhm.
I know after being in higher education for over 10 years, I was like,
Ooh.
oh, there are so many like embedded reactions that you can have, like just walking into a classroom or sitting down to type in a
Mhm.
paper that carry on into your personal life. And then you find yourself like, even after COVID, being anxious to go back in grocery stores and
Mhm.
things like that. So, me trying to figure out ways of still living life, but getting rid of some of those little tensions that you don't even need, like ordering your groceries instead of having to walk aisle by aisle and
Yeah.
engage, I'll say. But I love people, but I just can't, like, and not forcing yourself to do it because you're like, oh, that's a part of life, right? Going through the grocery store is a part of life, so you have to do it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, no, I have to pull up and open up my trunk and let them put them in there. That's what I have to do. That's my
Keep it simple.
compromise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
this
Yeah.
idea of choice, what does it mean to like have the power of choice, as you said, Bree? How can we really tap in to knowing and believing that everything we do is within our power and we have the ability to make that sort of choice? That's like a higher level thinking idea for a lot of people who feel like life hands them
Mhm.
things, right? Life makes them have to live a certain way. What does it mean to finally realize, like, no, I can choose whether or not I do this or whether or not I believe this?
Mm. When I hear
And this
choice,
is big, so we just gonna throw it back and forth
it
till we
is.
land somewhere.
When I hear choice, um, so it was huge for me to shift my thinking to acknowledging what I deserve. So when I hear power of choice, it's like, okay, what do I deserve in this moment? What do I deserve in this friendship? What do I deserve in this marriage? You know? And for me, choice and deserving are on the same wavelength. And I think where you fall in assessing what you deserve is also how attached you are to yourself.
Yes.
I'm
Sorry.
just like,
I
I'm gonna
was
sit
having a
with that. How
difficulty. Yeah.
attached you are to yourself.
Mm.
Wow. So when we
That's
talk
deep.
about self love, like I want you to unpack it for us a little bit. What is it? What does it mean to be attached to yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you know yourself? Understand yourself? understand why you do things the way you do them.
Hmm. I think it's
I've never heard it like that. That was
peeling back
beautiful.
those layers that you don't want to look at, peeling back the stuff that's uncomfortable, peeling back um, the things you get glimpses of in the mirror, and you're like, nope, I don't want to touch that yet. Because once you touch it, once you remove the layer, then it's like, okay, now I acknowledge I have a choice. Now I can step into what I deserve.
Mm.
Like, I don't feel respected in this relationship. And I can look at that now because I'm okay with looking at it and what it brings up if I do decide to sit with it. So now I can acknowledge, like, I deserve to be treated with respect.
Mm.
I deserve to be loved in a way that's safe and secure.
Say that, sister.
Mhm.
I
And
know
when
that's right.
what
Yeah.
you said attachment, right? Attachment to yourself. Yeah. And I would add that attachment to yourself is you gotta be honest with yourself. And too many people
Mhm.
lie to themselves every day. You lie to yourself every day. You speak the lies out loud. I'm fine. I'm okay. This doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
And internally you battle yourself when something does bother you and it doesn't bother other people, or you feel like it's not supposed to bother you. So in order to even be attached to yourself, you gotta be honest. And I tell people you can't be honest with anybody if you can't be completely nakedly honest with yourself. That's the good, the bad, the uncomfortable. Um, and then you can attach to yourself because then you can actually see yourself for who you are and love yourself for who you are, not what you are or who you are to other people. So
Exactly.
I would add that to that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, y'all. That was 12 years of therapy right there. Just 12 years unpacked. And I don't even know if that was 45 seconds. I'm about to be in tears already because what you just pointed out was the whole complex thinking of reality, right?
Mhm.
And being able to make things real or accept things as being real or your reality. And when we live in a world where reality television tells you like these things are real, but these people are screaming at you, that's not who I am. I think I go back to Tamar Braxton and the Braxton show and how she said she was portrayed in a
Mhm.
different way than who she really was. And because she had signed a contract, like she had to live into that character and be that character when the
Mhm.
cameras came on, but that wasn't who she really was. And I think a lot of us enjoy that kind of television because we are also hiding from ourselves in a lot of ways, or we feel like we can't show up as our true selves. And so it's great when you can hear those words back to you that you can choose to be you. You can choose to not live a life where you are constantly tormented by
Mhm.
everything in your environment and you think you have to be. That is freeing. And you talked about freedom too. What does it mean to be free once you get rid of what's not working? I know I'm coming for it
I
today.
know. Not
But
holding
I
back.
listen. I am a fan of the show here. I am a Chuck Peep, okay? And Chuck Peeps want to know. Here we go. Chuck Peeps want to know. What does it mean to
Freedom.
live in freedom? And I know I want listeners to also understand, like, as we talk about this, it's not something that we've perfected, right? It's just
Mm-mm.
we're a little further in our journey, right? We have a little piece of the puzzle that other people might not have. And so as we share, we kind of put our pieces together and we make some sort of understanding out of it. So as you listen, don't think, oh, they've got it all figured out.
Mhm.
And this is an expert situation. No, this is just us having a roundtable conversation.
Yes.
And we're honest and saying, I don't got it. When Bree was saying, recognizing the physical signs, I'm like, anxiety over here, we be having it. Okay, I get nauseous first thing in the morning, cortisol running through my body like crazy, all kinds of things we're trying to figure out. But there's peace in knowing, like, even when I don't have it figured out, I can talk to other people who don't have it figured out, and
Mhm.
together we can figure out something that makes us at peace a little bit more today, or feel a little bit happier today, or have a little bit more hope. So as we talk about freedom, think about what that means to you, and where or when you felt free in your life. So I don't know, guys. Give me an example of a time when you felt free Or give me an example of what it means to experience freedom as you get rid of things not working. I can go first, or y'all can go first. Y'all the guests,
I
so
can just give you a idea kind of what it feels like. I don't have like a specific situation, but I think that most people can relate. So if you've ever had like an uncomfortable feeling, and you know how you can feel it in your chest, like it feels, you feel the hurt, whatever it is. And one thing I noticed was the closer I was getting to being free, I didn't have that feeling. Even when I had unpleasant feelings, I just felt peaceful still. Like even if I was sad, I could feel that, but I didn't have that physical tightness that's actually in there. And so to me, what that meant was that physical tightness was not from feeling sad. That physical tightness was I didn't want to feel sad. I didn't want to accept it. That was the fight of me accepting what I feel and not wanting to accept that I feel that way. Whether that is because of what caused me to feel that way. So I want to acknowledge that. But I think living in truth, it allowed me to just feel it, acknowledge that I felt it. And so I didn't feel the tightness anymore. I just feel
Mm.
normal, but I can recognize, like, oh, that makes me sad. And I know why that makes me sad, but it's going to be okay. Like, I'll get through it, but I don't feel the battle, like the physical battle of my body saying, we don't want to feel sad and that this is a negative situation or negative feeling to have and we don't want it. So that's kind of like how it feels to me, I should say.